Hi there, welcome back to Pretty Much Flawless. This is part 2 of a 3-part video series where we design a PCB to fit inside a thin rail box to use with thin rail components. Today we have the PCBs here, so we're going to solder them all up. Let's get into it.
What are you doing here?
I'm just trying to order PCBs.
Tell me more about it.
Sure, I'm trying to order custom-made PCBs from PCBWay. PCBWay makes high-quality custom PCBs for your projects. Design and upload your Gerber files to the website, then place your order and wait for your PCBs to come. And that's not all they do. PCBWay also does PCB assembly, CNC machining, 3D printing in many different materials, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. Check out their website. There will be a link to that in the description down below. Do you have a neat project or want to see some neat projects? Check out PCBWay Community. And if you are looking to make your own affordable PCBs, I would really recommend using PCBWay. And I look forward to using them again in the future. Okay, so we have the stencil and we have the PCBs here. You can see on the stencil here, everywhere there's a pad on the top here for the SMD components. There's a hole, which is great. So what we can do is line that up. And then what we can do is we can spread solder paste over here and take the stencil away. And then what we can do is place our components and heat it up, and all that solder paste will become solder and solder all our components on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to double check that these circuit boards actually are the right size. So we have, this is our thin rail box right here. This is just a frame. There's a bottom part that clicks onto the bottom. Also the terminal guards here and here. And then also there's a front cover. So we're just trying to see right now if the circuit boards will fit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this in here. Push it down in, and it's a very tight fit, which is good. Not too tight, but it fits in there good. And you can see, we can see our terminal blocks. Here you can see our chip is right in the middle there. And that is good. That looks very good. We can just pop this back out again. So that fits good. And now we can start soldering components. So what we want to do is we want to lay our stencil down on a very level surface. We want to lay it on the circuit board. We also want to have it laid down on a surrounding level surface. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use circuit boards of similar heights to provide that level surface. So I have a couple more over here, and what we're going to do is just going to basically surround our circuit board that we want to do the solder paste on with more circuit boards, and then what we can do is just lay the stencil down, and that way it's going to keep it very, very level, which is good. So we want to move to a nice level spot. Then what we want to do is secure everything. Just something to keep in mind, if you wanted to do a batch of these and let's say solder up all of these circuit boards, you wouldn't really want to have it in a configuration like mine, where right now my other circuit boards are holding the circuit board I want to do work on in it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tape down the circuit boards now, except for the one in the middle, because if we wanted to, we could remove that and then place another one of these circuit boards in and repeat the same process. So good. The circuit board can't move a whole lot, so that's good. We can still pop it out when we're done, but it can't move a whole lot. Okay, next thing is the stencil. So the first thing we want to check is we want to make sure that this stencil is clean. The stencil is clean, both sides are clean. Next thing is we want to line up the sides, make sure we have it the right way. We can see that we have all the MOSFETs up here. We can see that. We can also see there's this unique looking 4 pads up here. That's right there. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll put this down and we'll get everything lined up. We want it to be absolutely perfect here. Last thing we'll do is we'll also tape this down. This way we can easily flip it up and flip it down here. That is perfectly lined up there, which is good. So that's good. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to take our solder paste now. We also want to have a scraper. I'm using this plastic one, which I'll just use to scrape over everything here. and we're going to want to use a decent amount. We don't want to go crazy here, but what we'll do is we'll push some solder paste out here. Okay, might need to use a little bit more. We'll now take our scraper and push hard. We want to go through and get solder paste in all the holes here. So you can kind of tell when your holes are getting fuller because it doesn't really look shiny like the pad anymore. It's more of a duller color like the solder paste itself. So that's something to watch out for. Okay, so we have all the solder paste spread out here, and now we can pull up our stencil here. And we can take a look. It looks pretty good. It looks good. The one thing you want to watch out for when the pads are really close together, such as on this chip here, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're pushing down really hard just to make sure that there isn't any room for the solder paste to go down and spread. That way you could potentially have some shorted pins and something underneath the chip. So we don't really want that. Other than that, this looks pretty good. For minor things, the silk screen will take care of that if you have like a minor jump, but anything, if there's a lot of solder paste, it could potentially form a jump. So what we're going to do now is we'll start laying out our components here. Alright, so what we can do is we can take a look at our pads, and with some of you can see that they don't look quite so great. And it looks like what happened here was I wasn't pushing down hard enough. So what happened was the solder paste was allowed to kind of jump. It was allowed to get places that it shouldn't have been. So this isn't too bad. You can see there's a tiny bridge on this one. This one just doesn't look great. Yeah, so it's not bad. The solder mask should take care of it as soon as we apply heat. That should be fine. We can move further on down, and we can take a look at the chip itself. And this doesn't look too bad. As I said before, there's some pretty tight pins in here, so we'll look for shorts after, but it does look pretty good. And the pads down here, they look very good. That all looks quite good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start laying out components. Okay, so we have all the components placed here. This component right here is actually redundant. I didn't need to put it in. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take our hot air gun. We can alternatively use a hot plate. I'm going to use a hot air gun for right now. And what we're going to do is we want to turn the fan speed very low. We don't really want to be blowing components right off the board. So, okay, so I have my fan speed very low here. What we're going to do is we're just going to very gently just start to apply heat. You can see the components are now starting to get warm, and then they get pulled right exactly where they want to be, which is good. Okay, so it does look like there was a couple components here that didn't quite get perfectly put on. Okay, that's good. You don't want to apply too much heat for too long. Minimum heat is be nice. Okay, next we're going to work on the chip here. So we're just going to go around working on the different pins. Alright, we're just going to do a visual inspection, make sure everything looks good. Put a little bit more light on here. Alright, so that looks good. What we can do is we can just go through here and just push these different pins. Just make sure that we've got a good contact. Okay, so we went through and tested all these pins. They're all connected on nicely, which is good. What we can do is we can just go over here. All these components look soldered on very nicely. All those solder bridges we were seeing before have now cleared themselves up. Alright, so here it is. Everything looks really good, which is good. And yeah, everything's pretty straight. There are some components, you can see some resistors that are crooked, but anything that have more than 2 terminals, they're on nice and straight. All these MOSFETs are good. This chip is nice and centered, which is good. Okay, so what we have to do now is we have to solder on our through-hole components. So I have a couple different terminal blocks here, and these are 3 by 1. So what we're going to do is we are going to attach them together. We'll attach 3 together, so that gives us 9. There we go. We'll do the same thing for this other one. They just clip together here. Good. Okay, that's that. And then we also have a 5-volt voltage regulator here. The 7805. So that's good. So what we want to do is we want to put on our components. We want to make sure we put them on correctly. It won't be helpful if your terminal block is backwards. Alright, next is the voltage regulator, and a bit of an embarrassing story here. I made up another one of these PCBs earlier, and I soldered in the voltage regulator in backwards. So then I took it out, and then accidentally soldered it in backwards again. So you just want to make sure that you have the correct polarity the first time. So we'll double check that. Okay, the next thing we're just going to clip off the extra leads. We only have to do this on the voltage regulator because the terminal blocks are good. So, okay, the last thing we're going to do is give it a quick clean, and then we'll also give it a quick test, which is good. In cases like this, it helps to have a current limiting power supply. Just in case something on the board is wrong, you're not going to be pumping lots and lots of current and potentially damaging components. Okay, so now we're going to give it a quick test. So I have my current limiting power supply set to 30 milliamps right now. This board should not draw more than 30 milliamps, just like this. So what we're going to do is we are going to apply power. And if everything's working, we have 2 LEDs. One LED to indicate that power is getting to the board, and another LED to indicate that power is coming out of the regulator. So we'll check the positive and the negative. And you can see we have a yellow light, and it might be hard to see, but we also have a green light there too. So power is getting to the board, and power is coming out of the regulator. So it's both very good. Okay, so that is good. This board is all soldered up and ready to be programmed and assembled. Alright, so here's the circuit board. Looks great. In video 3, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be uploading code and then assembling it into the DIN rail box. Thanks for watching this video today. I hope you learned something. If you did, please subscribe. That would really help my channel. And I'll see you next time.